Welcome to JS Production, and today I'm going to share with you how you can calculate the variance and the standard deviation. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. So the variance and the standard deviation are one of the two measures of dispersion. And the variance and the standard deviation, they show how far the data values are to the mean. So I'll start by first explaining the variance. So there are two ways in which you can calculate the variance of the data that will be given. You can either be given group data or ungrouped data. So let's take into consideration these two formulas. So I have this first formula for ungrouped data. So variance is represented by this symbol with a squared is equal to the summation of n I is equals to 1. Then I have open bracket x minus x and a bar cross bracket squared over n. So this is the formula that you use when calculating the variance for ungrouped data. So my x here represents each value in a data set. Then my x and the bar, x and the bar represents the mean. Then my n represents the total frequency. Then the formula that you use for group data the formula grouped data, you say variance is equal to the summation. I have my frequency x minus x in the bar squared over n. So this is the formula that you use when calculating the variance for group data. So this f represents the frequency for each class interval. Then x represents the middle point of each class interval. Then x and the bar represents the mean, and n represents the total frequency. So the variance, it actually shows the average distance of each number in a data set with the mean. So that's what the variance shows. Then the next thing that I'm going to talk about is the standard deviation, which is B. So standard deviation is just the square root of the variance. So we say standard deviation, I can say SD is equals to the square root of variance. So this is the formula that we use when calculating standard deviation. And there are 2 points that you need to take into consideration when you look at standard deviation and variance. So when the standard deviation and the variance is, if the number is small, that means the data set and the mean, they are close to each other. But if you take into consideration that the standard deviation and the variance, the number is big, that means the data set and the mean, they are not close to each other. So let's take into consideration an example. So for me to calculate mean, I'll say mean, which is represented by x in the bar, is equal to the summation of fx over the summation of f. So the summation of fx, I'm going to get 2268. So I have 2268 over the summation of f. The summation of f is the summation of frequency, which is 111. So 2268 divided by 111, I'm having 20.43243. And if I round off to 2 decimal places, my mean will be equal to 20.43. So for me to calculate the variance, I'm going to add the next 3 columns. So for this column, I have the midpoint minus the mean. Then here I have the midpoint minus the mean squared. Then here I'm having the midpoint minus mean squared multiplied by the frequency of the class interval. So to start with this one, I'm going to say my x here, the midpoint is 8. So I'll say 8 minus the mean, I know it's 20.43. I'm having negative 12.43. Then squared, I'm having 154. If I round off to 2 decimal places, this will be 50. Then multiplied by the frequency, which is 2, multiplied by 2. I'm having 309.00 if I round off to 2 decimal places. Coming to the next interval, I'll say my x, which is my midpoint, I'll say 13 minus 20.43. I'm having negative 7.43. Then squared, that's 55.20. Then multiplied by the frequency. The frequency is 13. I'm having 717.66. The next class interval, my midpoint is 18. So I'll say 18 minus 20.43. I'm having negative 2.43. Then squared, 5. I'm having 5.90 multiplied by the frequency, which is 47. I'm having 277.53. Coming to the next class interval, my x is 23. So I'll say 23 minus 20.43. I'm having 2.57, then squared. I'm having 6.6049 multiplied by the frequency, which is 3. I'm having 217.96. The next class interval, my midpoint is 28, so I'll say 28 minus 20.43. I'm having 7.57, then squared, I'm having 57.30. So 57.30 multiplied by the frequency, which is 10, I'm having 573. So for the next class interval, my midpoint is 33. So I'll say 33 minus 20.43. I'm having 12.57. Then squared, I'm having 158.00 multiplied by the frequency which is 6. So I'm having 948.03. So the next thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to calculate the total of this column. So the first number, 309.00 plus 717.66 plus 277.53 plus 217.96 plus 573 plus 948.03. So my total here, I'm having 3043.18. And for me to calculate the variance, which is represented by this symbol squared, is equal to the summation. So I have f open bracket x minus x in the bar close bracket squared over n. So for this value, I'm going to get this number, which is 3043.18. Divided by the total frequency, which is 111. So 3043.18 divided by 111, I'm having 27.41603604. And if I round off to 2 decimal places, I'm going to have 27.42. And the last thing to calculate the standard deviation, I will say SD, which is represented by this symbol, is equal to the square root of the variance. So I know that my variance, I'm having 27.42. So the square root of 27.42, my standard deviation, if I round off to 2 decimal places, it will be 5.24. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I'll meet you next time. Peace.